This is going to be a happy video. It's all about the spirit of Disney that many of us take into our heart and soul and want to share with the rest of the world. I have a lot of details about the Disney spirit in this video, but first I want to start by telling you why I am making this video. On June 7th, 2018, we lost, in my eyes, a Disney legend and an icon at the Grand Floridian Resort and Spa, Richard Gerth. You may have seen Richard before with his hat, his glasses, and his trademark smile. But why am I making this video today? Why is it so important for me to tell you about why Richard really, in my eyes, embodied everything magical about the Disney spirit? The reason is because Richard is unique, and I'm saying is, not was, because in my eyes, he is always going to be in front of the Grand Floridian. Whenever I walk by, he's going to be there, in front of the Grand Floridian. That's how I'm always going to remember him, in front, right with those cars. I'm going to see him there as I walk by. I'm going to think of him. This is so important to me because my family has been going to Disney for many, many years, and we have seen Richard throughout the years. Even when I was just born and my parents were going to the Grand Floridian or just visiting, they would see Richard and say hi and take a picture and wish him well, and they'd have a conversation, and it was just part of the magic for them. And as I grew a little bit older, maybe as a smaller kid and get into my teenage years, I would still say hi to him and then meet him, and then as I got into vlogging, I was also meeting with him and saying hello. To me, he is a big part of the Disney magic and the Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. I still can see him there in my mind's eye, and I will continue to see him there in my mind's eye every time I go to the Grand Floridian, every time. So now let's get into the purpose of this video, the Disney spirit and what it means to me. To me, the spirit of Disney has many different aspects, but the first one that comes to my mind is a passion for seeing others smile. Walt loved seeing happy, smiling guests throughout the park, and in today's cast members, we see that same love for smiling, happy guests. No matter where you are at Walt Disney World, a park, a resort, even the parking lot, you are more than likely going to see a cast member smiling, wishing you well, and making sure you are totally happy and seeing if there's anything else that they can do for you. Now, I'm not a psychologist, I don't know the details of this, but when I see happy, smiling people, I'm much more likely to be happy and smiling myself, if I'm not anyway, at Walt Disney World. And that just continues to add to the magic for me, and you see it all around all the different cast members. And when I smile, I just naturally feel happy. I mean, if you're like pouting, upset all the time, you're not going to feel as happy. You know what I mean? So as you smile more, you feel happier and happier. Maybe that's why they call it the happiest place on earth. The second aspect of the Disney spirit, at least how I see it, is having a positive outlook on life and your situation. There are countless stories about Richard really enhancing the magic of a lot of guests' trips. He would make conversation, tell you how you are. He would remember many guests and welcome you back, help with weddings and all sorts of things. Just imagine if he just opened a door, that was it, no smile, just, open the door like that. But that was not Richard. That is not who he was. And so when you think about cast members, and it's not just Richard, there are a lot of cast members, many of them, who are like this and smile happy and are genuine, and you can tell. And they love what they're doing. That's just part of the magic for me, and that is part of the Disney spirit. Being able to see the positive side also brings out another part of ourselves that allows us to make friends from those who we would have otherwise called stranger. Of course, I am thinking of Richard today, but it's not just Richard. There are so many cast members all around Walt Disney World and other Disney parks who do this on a daily basis, and we want to thank you for your Disney spirit as well. The third part of the Disney spirit that I think of relates a lot to the second one. It's being able to see the magic of Disney in everyday things. In every generation and every time, we are always faced with problems. That happens. That's life. That's how the world works. But when we have the magic of Disney, we can totally escape these things and these problems, or at least what we think are problems in the moment, give us some perspective, step away and be able to say, you know what, these problems aren't as bad as I originally thought, and being able to see that magic of Disney change our perspective. But it goes one step further than that. Once you have that Disney perspective and you're able to say, you know what, I can handle this. This is okay. These problems aren't as bad as I originally thought, you begin to share the magic in a way you didn't realize you could. And this sharing of the magic doesn't just affect you, of course, it affects all of those with whom you come in contact with. So why is Richard such an icon? Why is his passing so painful for us? And why did we love him so much? In my eyes, he took all the parts of the Disney spirit, all of the pieces of magic, incorporated them into himself, and then shared himself with the world. And for that, Richard, I will always be grateful. Every time I go to the Grand Floridian Resort and Spa, whether I'm stepping off the monorail or seeing the old cars up front or just walking around, I will be thinking of Richard and him being able to take in that spirit of Disney and share it with all of us. My family and I have many memories thinking of Richard and meeting him right at the front of the Grand Floridian, but in today's video I wanted to share my last memory I have of Richard and a conversation we had together. I am really happy that I was recording the entire time I was talking with Richard, and I'm leaving it relatively unedited so you can hear the whole conversation. Richard, how are you, sir? Great to see you. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it.
You got caught on one of these, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I did.
Oh, they say the line to get into the store.
Oh, yes.
2.5 hours.
It took 2 hours to get him. 2 hours to get him, but his name is Pegasus. I think he's very special. What do you think?
Pegasus is a good name.
It's a good name for him?
You have to bond with him.
Yes, I've bonded with him, so he is only bonded to me.
That's in the store.
In the store, and there's a ceremony too, where we...
I haven't heard much else.
It was just, so we go in there and we see our banshees and they choose us, or I chose him. And then there's a ceremony where you raise your hand and you say that you will protect him and the environment and all these great things. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of. I recommend it. I recommend it.
And they sold 70,000 the first day.
They sold 70,000 the first day. Wow. I gotta say though, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. And you can only imagine when Star Wars Land opens, they're gonna have something just like it, I'm sure, because it's so popular.
I can't imagine. I don't know how the cast members are gonna get to work.
I don't know. I got there opening day, 5 in the morning. There were 1,000 people in front of me at 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
By the time they opened the doors, there were 40,000 people behind me. It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. It was amazing. But you know, we all have a love of Disney. You know, just like you do, sir. It's a great love, and we're committed to it. So.
Yeah, but I wouldn't stand in line for 4 hours.
I can understand. I know.
You don't have to.
I know. Well, you don't have to. You're lucky. You're fortunate. Yeah.
But even so.
Even so, I know. It's a commitment, I suppose.
You know, I don't know what's behind this. How long it's going to last.
Well, I would hope for a long time. But I hope they don't sell out.
When you're talking about an 8 and 9-year-old child with one of these on the shoulder.
Right. Do you have one? You can touch him if you like.
No.
Okay. Yes, sir.
The Imagineers, that's who I enjoy talking with. And then the engineers are part of that.
They do amazing work. They really do amazing work. And you look up at the rocks of Pandora and you can see how hard they worked at it.
You know, the Imagineers, they can do an image on a television screen.
Right.
And then they say, engineers, we're going to have 100,000 people walking through.
Right.
What do I need?
Right.
Well, you need
this much space, and you need this extra thing.
Papers, you know, and the steel and all that. Oh my goodness.
You should see as the sun sets, they made it so specific. The rocks. So the sun sets, and you see the light coming through beams of light through the rocks. They've set the rocks so that the light shines like right through them. It's amazing. It's amazing what they did, and they thought through every single detail. It's really incredible. Really incredible.
Great.
Well, thank you again, sir. I got to catch my Magical Express home in a little bit. Great pleasure.
Indeed.
Thank you, sir, Richard.
Be nice with Pegasus.
Thank you. I'll be nice to Pegasus. I will. Thank you again. An icon at Disney. Richard has been here for 25 years and a friend to all. Richard, thank you for taking in the spirit of Disney and sharing it with us in your heart and soul. You will be missed tremendously. Thank you.